The first political maniac of the week involves the storied conservative publication, the National Journal, and they're basically saying that God wants you to have an assault rifle. Legislation aimed at reducing gun violence is a limitation on a God-given right of man that has existed throughout the history of civil society, says an article published in the leading conservative opinion journal, National Review. The author, David French, interprets the Christian Bible as granting everyone a right to self-defense. He suggests that, if true, God's will is that people have access to guns, as they are a means for self-defense. Really? He states that, in fact, Jesus' disciples carried swords, and even Jesus said in some contexts, the unarmed should arm themselves. What does all this mean? Essentially, that gun control represents not merely a limitation on constitutional rights, but a limitation on a God-given right of man that has existed throughout the history of civil society. All rights, of course, are subject to some limits. The right of free speech is not limited, for example, and there is much room for debate on the extent of those limits. But state action against the right of self-defense is by default a violation of the natural rights of man, and the state's political judgment about the limitations of that right should be viewed with extreme skepticism and must overcome a heavy burden of justification.
Hold on. Doesn't the Bible also say that you should turn the other cheek when you get slapped on one cheek?
That's exactly where I was going to go with that one. Yeah. Jesus gave love away for free, all that stuff. Yeah.
Like, didn't Jesus also say, render to Caesar what is Caesar? And then the one time where there was violence in the Bible, in Jesus' time, was when his disciple cut the ear of the soldier off when he was getting ready to get crucified in the Garden of Gethsemane. And he was like, why the hell did you do that?
Right.
You know, it's my time to go.
Yeah. Jesus was kind of a loving type. I don't really see Jesus being like, get that AK-47, pick it up, and if anyone comes near your home, shoot them 25 times.
It says, thou shalt not kill. Isn't that part of the Ten Commandments?
There's also, like, there's a, like, part of, like,
do you even read the Bible, Peter?
I do read the Bible, and I was brought up Catholic, and there's a part of Catholic theology that a lot of people endorse called liberation theology, and that says that, like, peasants in El Salvador who are being chased around by right-wing death squads should arm themselves in self-defense and take their freedom back and get a better life that way. They're not saying in liberation theology, though, that every individual should arm themselves to the teeth. So
well, that's because this goes back to the whole argument that Republicans like to say that you need a gun because we might have a tyrannical society at some point in time, which just makes no sense because they parade the Constitution that says we'll have a peaceful transfer of government.
How much crazy can you fit under the big tent that is the GOP? That's
you can fit a lot of crazy. Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, Ted Cruz,
Alan West,
Paul Ryan, John Boehner,
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain, Newt Gingrich, who believes in space colonies. Don't forget Callista.
And polygamy.
Don't forget Callista.
Newt, I ran on values but believe in an open marriage.
Don't forget Callista, the Stepford wife.
Oh, I love her. They were the scariest people I've ever shook hands with in person.
Her eyes are like this the whole time.
She just like follows your face though too. She's just like, ugh.
When did you meet her?
She looks at her soul at CPAC last year. I shook his hand. His head is like literally the biggest thing I've ever seen.
Well, we saw him at the inauguration.
She has that icy stare.
I didn't see him at the inauguration.
I saw Michelle Bachmann at the inauguration.
We did. I had direct sight to Michelle Bachmann. I was watching her the whole time when she was scowling her face and the president's like, and we will. Like,
we all saw her in the hallway of Rayburn, and I looked her in the eye and told her to keep praying the gay away.
The best was when John McCain was sitting like right on the edge, and Pete and I thought that he was clapping when Barack Obama made his like.
It was actually Barbara Boxer's hands.
Yeah, gay people affirmation, and it was someone else's hands.
Barbara Boxer in San Francisco.
He reached up to scratch his nose, and those weren't his hands.
It's like, ah! He also had like that crazy smirk behind those like huge Ray-Ban aviators. The whole time he's just like, Jesus wants you to shoot all your neighbors when they cross your property line.
That's bizarre. And if anybody out there who believes that crap,
Jesus says we must protect this house.
You're a maniac too. You're just as maniacal as the National Journal.